Hello everyone, welcome to itscheaperthantherapy.com. And we are so excited today to show you a really fun, great holiday card that you can do for birthdays, you can do for the holidays, a thank you, whatever the event is. And we're going to kind of get started and just kind of get started to make it. But first I wanted to just let you know a little bit about us. We were the first ones to ever sell Sizzix in the world when they debuted in 2001. And so we're very, very proud of that. Some of the things that we're going to show you is we're going to show you the Rinea paper. This is just a little sample pack of paper from Rinea, and that's what we're using. But our papers are in 6 by 12 sheets in packs of 12. This one here is called the Cut Out Snowflakes, easily enough. And it comes with the one big die, which we did use here to cut the front of the cardstock out. And that's what we did on this right here. And that's what we used. And we used our shimmery gold cardstock. And it's just really beautiful. And you can kind of see, the shimmer that's in, because you guys have it in your hands. So that's really nice. Also get a tweezers or a real good die pick and a good little tiny pair of scissors. And like I said, this has already been cut out for you. And then we also use the Believe, which I just cut one out, but I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a minute. The versatility on it is just amazing, because if you only need this much of it, then only use that much of it. And we can cut the rest of it off. So I wanted to kind of share with you that that portion of our dies. Those are from It's Cheaper Than Therapy. And those are called sentiments. And we have a whole bunch of sentiments. So let's get started. We're going to move this over, but you can see that we just cut that out with the Believe out of the Rinea paper. These ones right here are cut out of 4 by 6s. And these are 6 by 12 sheets. And I like to use the majority, get the best use out of everything that I have. And so if it's 4 by 12 or 6 by 12, then you can get 4, 8, 12. You can get 3 cuts of it. So there'll be 4 by 6s, which you can do 6 by 6s if you do those kinds of cards, cut them down to 5 by 5s, or you can do the 4 by 6s. One of the things that I like to do is to show people is, okay, so you've done your project, you bought a whole bunch of let's say the fuchsia color, I love all different colors of the rainbow, but I probably would only use the minimal for me personally. But it is a very popular color. But the great thing about all of these glossy ones, there's 2 different kinds of Rinea paper. There's the glossy, and then there's the Starstruck. And with all of the glossies, all of them are gold. Ooh, there was a copper one that was stuck in there. So all of them are gold in the back. And that's the awesome thing about it, is it didn't matter which color that you got. They're all gold on the back. So when you do your project, if you wanted to make some more, you're going to get some Starstruck and you're going to get some of the solids. And so all of the solids have gold in them. So if you wanted to do a little bit more, then you can. You can pick whatever color that you want. And so that's what these are. These are 4 by 6s. That's just what I use. Both kinds of papers are in variety packs. There is one that's also gold and gold. So if you have any two-tone stuff, you can use that as well. So what I wanted to say really quick is about the Starstruck. And I'm not going to pull out all of the colors, but here's just a few of them. And with the Starstruck is it has this star pattern to it. And the Starstrucks are the same on both sides. So you don't get gold on the back. If you want gold Starstruck, you're going to have to buy gold Starstruck. If you want copper, green, fuchsia, whatever color, they're all going to be Starstruck on the other side. And we're going to go through a little bit more on the detail of the papers. But you're going to have your A2 size cardstock. And we're just going to give that a quick little fold. And you can take your little scoring tool or little edge of the scissors. Sometimes I've even used this little edge of my die pick. And so you basically have your cardstock. So putting this together is really simple. When you cut your paper down. You want to decide what size you're going to use for your card front. And so you can just measure it down, like if this is 4 inches, which is normally 4 1/4. So that would be taking 1/4 inch off. So if it's 4 1/4 on the gold, then it would be 4 inches here. And that's how we've kind of left it. So we'd be taking that 1/4 inch off. So if this is 5 1/2 inches, you're going to take this down to 5 1/4. So we're just taking 1/4 inch off of the gold for your layering. So let me do that really super quick. I'm going to go grab my paper trimmer real fast. Okay. So sometimes people just get a little intimidated with measuring. So let's see how we did here. See how you can have this just sit on there like that. Oh, I got to turn my cardstock around. There we go. Looking at it upside down in there. And so you can leave it like this. If you want it flat, you can leave it flat. If you want it dimensional, you can make this a little bit more dimensional. If you want to make it all dimensional, you can make it all dimensional. It doesn't matter. And it's kind of whatever it is that you want. But I wanted to show you just how easy it is just to make this card. Now this die, I'm going to show you how we cut it afterwards. Right now we're just going to assemble this card. And so I'm going to just take some foam dots. And I just got these, there's either little square ones or little round ones. And you can pick them wherever you want. If you want to put a lot on, you can. If you don't, that's okay too. I like using a little die pick. I like tweezers as well. Doesn't really matter. Sizzix also makes a really great tweezer. And so now we can take this and put it on our gold as soon as we find our gold. Okay, now kind of has that little bit of a dimension, which I kind of like. And then you can either, if you want to stiffen it up a little bit, you can take a piece of cardstock, another piece, and you can put it behind it and stiffen it up and then put it onto the card. Or you can go directly with the gold. It doesn't matter, whichever way that you want to go. And so what I would do is if I was going to put the foam dots, I would put them back kind of where the cardstock is. And so that's what I'm going to do here. And so I'm just going to kind of, and I apologize if I go off the screen for a second. I get really excited and I love doing the project. And then you got to remember to kind of get back in there. Is everybody having a good time with all of your holiday season and stuff? Yeah? Okay. So before we're going to adhere it onto here, you're going to take your word. And we had just cut this out, and you can kind of knock some of the pieces out. You can take the die pick and you can kind of pop it out a little bit, and it usually comes out pretty easy. So be careful. This is fragile paper. It is fragile. And then when I kind of hit it, it kind of knocked all the little pieces that come out in between the letters and stuff too. What's great about this is that you could kind of bend it at an angle if you wanted to, make it go around something. But it kind of has that dimensional look to it as well. So when you cut these, they look really curved. They looked really curved. Let's see, I'm trying to get a good view, but you should be able to see that of it. You can do one of two things, is that you can either lay this on here and you can have it go off the edge of the gold, or you can have it go off of the edge of the cardstock. It doesn't matter. But this is how you can take one of the words and you can make it really, really long for your slimline cards. And I'll show you what those are real quick. But also you can just take the word itself and use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive actually right on my my hand. And so these are our little glue. I'm just going to kind of do this. And I'm going to take the word. Thank you, Else, for that tip. And just kind of just dab it in just the little areas that I may need. If I want a little bit taken off, I can take it back off on my hand. And after it dries a little bit on your hand, sometimes people get annoyed by it or whatever. But you can kind of decide. I'm going to take a little bit off of that tail because I'm not going to use the tail that much. And then you can decide exactly where you want it. And it could be way down here with hardly any of the little tails off of there. Wherever you want to center it. But there's a lot of different words that we have that you can use. Wipe some of that off. And then all you have to do is just take your scissors and just snip off the little area that you don't want. Just right off the little edge, and that's it. That is literally how easy it is to just make one of these cards. And again, I'm going to show you here in just a second of how to actually cut the dies. And we're going to just take off the little backs here. So again, the die word is sentiments from It's Cheaper Than Therapy. The cardstock is It's Cheaper Than Therapy. But Sizzix also makes some great paper packs. But the showcase paper right now is the Rinea paper. And because it's really perfect for the holiday season. And I'm going to show you some other fun things that you can make for the holiday season with the Rinea paper. So with this die set, it also comes with a little tiny snowflake, which it's not, but it does come with it. And you could always take it onto the inside and you can, adhere that in there. You could even do the words if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. But wasn't that easy? Now, the other thing I wanted to say is sometimes you may get a crinkle or something like that in your paper where it might get a little nick or something like that, and a little crease. So a lot of the times once you cut them and run them through, a lot of that time it'll go through. You can always use that piece for embossing. But I also thought, what would happen if you took, this is just one of our other ones that we have here. What if you just took one and just wrinkled it all up here and just laid it on there and just cut it? Just cut it just smaller. I'm going to trim that off just a hair more. I'm going to show you something fun. Is put this behind there. And it almost looks like jeweled, but prismy. If you crinkled it all up, you could even crinkle it up more in those areas. Now, again, it's fragile paper. And it is a double-sided, has a white core on the inside of it. But there's some other really cool products from Rinea. And so rather than to crinkle it up and tearing it in your hand, is that you can just kind of crinkle these up. But it does keep its shape and stuff too. It's kind of a fragile paper, but it's also kind of weak in the same point. So you could just kind of flatten that out. Even if you get like a little tear, it doesn't matter because it's being covered up. That way you don't have any waste. And I just thought that was kind of pretty, kind of jeweled a little bit. And so let's go through a little bit here and kind of show you some of the other fun things with Rinea. Also, don't forget the amazing coupon that you got in your... Just showing the ease of the die cutting, sandwiching it in between the two clear cutting pads with your dyeing paper, running it through, cutting it, making sure that you poke out all the little tiny pieces after it's been run through. We just ran it through one time. That's all it needed. We can usually check that. You can also take your Rinea paper, and I'm going to show you in a second, to lay it on there. Orientate it to where you can just use the pieces that you want. That way you're not wasting more paper, but you can turn it in different directions if you want to use all the little tails and everything of the words. So here's Diane.
Hi, Maria. Thank you so much for having me on today. I wanted to share the Rinea products with your viewers today. And again, let you know that we are mainly a paper company. We have 19 different colors now of paper with 2 different textures. And we also have 18 different variety packs. And in the variety packs, you get 3 different colors. So you have lots of fun to play with if you pick up a variety pack from Maria. Now, about the paper itself, it is a double-sided foiled paper, which means that there's foil on both sides and real paper in the middle, and it will hold its shape no matter what you do to it. So much fun. So let me go ahead and jump right into our demos. The first demo is going to be some die cutting. So I have already in my machine prepped, ready to go, 2 sentiments. And I'm going to use those on some embossed paper in just a minute. So let me just pull these out so that you can see what I have here. There we go. And in here we have smile and we have hope. Hope, hope, hope. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of our Starstruck Silver and our Glossy Silver, okay, and I'm going to put them in the same folder, and I'm going to go ahead and run this through the embossing through our Sizzix machine here. Okay. We have 2 gorgeous pieces. One is our Brilliant Silver with the gold on the back, and the other is our Starstruck that has the same color on both sides. Because this is non-porous, you can use alcohol ink. You can also use alcohol markers. And here's one that's completely filled in, but I'm going to go ahead and show you really quick how simple it is to just be coloring on this, just like you would a coloring book page. I'm not good at coloring. But there you have it. And then I'm going to use the other company, and I'm going to make sure that I open it on the right side. And then I'm going to color this one. So you see, you can color on either silver and get a totally different look, because one looks kind of frosty and one is very shiny and brilliant. It's already dry. Boom, done. This one I just colored, already dry. Boom. See that? I know, don't judge me. I'm not good at coloring in the lines when I'm doing it fast. But remember what we made earlier? We made a smile and a hope. And those would look so pretty once this is all colored in. And look at it. It looks like it was heat embossed. So much fun. Okay, now I've showed you using alcohol markers. Now, here is alcohol from the little bottles. This is our Starstruck Silver paper. See the little stars on there? And this was put on with the alcohol bottles. So you really can play to your greatest imagination. You could make all sorts of really cool things with the paper, because it blows my mind whenever I see things done. Here's some direct stamping. Here, whoops, is some more direct stamping. Take a look at this one. Look at this. I mean, this is just incredible how intricate that is. You can't even hardly tell that this is the marigold paper. Okay, now I've showed you direct stamping. Now I'm going to show you R ink. R ink is an ink that will take the color off the paper. Okay, how can this be done, you say? You ask? I'm going to take some paper of ours, and I'm going to show you a quick demo of how that's done. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pad here, my my stamp, my pad. This is my stamp, and I am going to, let's see, ink this up really nice, just like you would any other stamp. And I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to lay the stamp on it. I like this stamp because it has some open pieces and some that are totally filled in. Okay, now here you can see that it's already starting to lift that color. But I'm going to set this aside to dry for just a second. I'm going to take my second piece. I'm going to crumble so that I get some valleys and some mountains on this. And I'm going to take my pad and I'm going to rub it against it ever so gently. Look at that, it's already getting dirty. That's because the color is coming off. Now, I'm going to set this one aside as well. And then I'm going to take our green here, our emerald, I should say, Starstruck, and I'm going to take my little applicator re-inker, and I'm just going to flick a few drops, and I'm going to let this sit, and I'm going to come back to this one, and just to make sure, because of time, I want to make sure I don't smear, so I wanted to pick it up, and I'm going to wipe now. Look at this. Just incredible. So you see, here the color was taken out. Here, these were completely emptied. Here is just the outline. And look at those lines in there. Really makes it come through. Now, let's go ahead and take this one and do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and just pat it once, and I'm going to rub it. Now, check this out. I get surprised and wowed every time I do this because it just, how it comes out. You can't get more distressed than this. This is like the best distressed look I've ever seen. Okay? And then if I want to take my little flicked paint here, my ink, not paint, I'm just going to give that a quick wipe. And there you go. A starry night. Just about any kind of, if you want to flick it like on this card it was flicked on the back, the black was. I mean, you could do the same thing, but with the ghost ink on the foiled paper. All these papers have a base of silver. And so when you take the color off, you get the silver. You see the silver that is revealed underneath. Now, our ghost ink is only one tool. We also have a couple of dies. We focus on dies that create three-dimensional projects because the paper holds its shape, just like I showed you at the beginning. The die I'm going to show you today will make a star, a 3D rolled star. And it's a gorgeous ornament to hang on Christmas trees. And under, I just have branches that I just hang these on. How did I get to this point? I'm going to show you right now. You take your dies, you run them through, you cut your circles, and once you have your circles, okay, there is a recipe on the back of the package, and it also shows you how to curl your stars and how to layer them. But you can change your recipe up and make it any way you want. This one here has 5 layers on both sides, so that's a total of 10. And so I start each one, I take a pencil, I lay it on the edge, and I pinch it really tight and I roll. I pinch and roll, and it holds its shape. I don't have to do anything to that. Okay? So I pinch it and I roll it. And if this doesn't work for you, I have some other videos on YouTube, Renia Inspires, where they show different ways of holding the pencil. Some folks like to hold it up here and curl it this way. I'm not as good this way, but it can be done. I've seen it, and it looks just as pretty as the way I do it. But like I said, that's not the way I learned. So I'm a little rough on that one. But all of these can be curled, and then you start layering. So I have a large. I would put a dab of glue in the middle, right there, and then put my next layer. And then put a dab of glue, and then my next layer, and on until I have my 5, or even just my 2 layers. See, this one has 1 layer of red and 1 layer of white, 1 layer of red, 1 layer of white. Okay? And so once I have these, and I have 2 of these, and they're dry, then you can glue them together like that. And that's what creates the star. Now, when you're using glossy, you can make it so that the gold is on the outside and the color is on the inside. Let me show you right here real quick on just this one. Just like that. So you can do different layers in here. You could put the gold in there. You could do every other one of gold. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a quick show here on how to make the star and the 3D die. And maybe I'll come back and show you how to use our hyacinth die next time. But I had a lot of fun, and thank you again, Maria, for having me on, and happy crafting.
Thank you so much, Diane, for going through that. I'm going to kind of move these little guys over, but you've seen how to do the rolled stars. So don't forget the coupon that you guys have in here. But these are just some of the variety packs that you get. There is just a ton of them. There's a whole bunch of the different varieties: patriotic, woodlands, metallics, love, earth tones, frosted, peacock. This is the glossy shades of blue, the variety. Then you have just all of your starstruck colors. We have an entire thing of all of the varieties of the solids. So you have all of the solid ones here. So there's just, I mean, just a ton of it. So, you know, we've got a great coupon for you guys. So enjoy shopping with us. Thank you so much, Diane. Don't forget to get all of your Renea, all your Sizzix. Give them a big round of applause and a shout out to them. And made a beautiful, wonderful card. And we're going to show you all the other fun things that we have online. Happy shopping! As promised in the video, here is your free die offer. And our amazing show special. Thank you from itscheaperthantherapy.com.